Okay, and we are live. I have Amina Motala. Welcome to the show, and thank you for coming. Yeah, you're my first guest in the Digital Capitalist Show. So let's kick off the show and give a brief. Please give a brief introduction about yourself and how you got into crypto.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. And it's an honor to be your first guest. We have seen each other quite a bit on social
Yes,
media, in
yes,
Twitter and Facebook. And
yes.
so it's always a pleasure to finally meet
Thank you.
and see what you look like too.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for having me on. So yeah, I guess I'm Amina Motala, and I've been in the blockchain space for a few years now. And of course, we met on social media. I'm in Twitter
Great.
and Facebook, Amina Motala, and on YouTube, Amina M. That's my channel on YouTube. Mhm.
Yeah. So how did you come into crypto, and how did you discover this space? And yeah.
Mhm. Sure. Yeah. I discovered cryptocurrency. It was Bitcoin actually that I learned about. It was a documentary that I was watching many years ago. And I'm trying to date when I saw that. And I think it was around 2012, actually. It was quite early. And so a lot of that was new to me, especially a lot of the technical stuff behind it, because I wasn't very technical.
Right.
But I knew it was something important for some reason. I just knew it was something that was revolutionary and changing the world sort of level. And I felt really um, just drawn to it and passionate and always wanted to have it. And I did try to buy it back then. I remember even Googling how to buy Bitcoin.
Mhm.
And of course, it wasn't as easy as it is today. So I didn't end up purchasing it right away. I sort of would put it on the back burner and I would wait. But there was always this little voice nagging at me in the background saying, you need to go buy Bitcoin. And eventually I did in 2017. So it was quite a few years later, actually. And of course, I was a single mom through those years. So it was just something I keep putting aside saying I'll get to, and not understanding the fact that it was appreciating in value as I was waiting.
Right.
But nonetheless, I did, and then I got invested in 2017.
Wonderful. I have the same story as you. The same story. I
Okay,
came in 2000. I mean, I heard about Bitcoin in 2011, and I didn't do anything about it because I wasn't technical, right?
right.
So yeah, and I had no idea. And here in
Did you
Singapore,
like it when you heard about it? Did you like what
yes,
you
yes.
heard?
And I was telling a colleague of mine that I had to buy it. We that I need to buy it, but I
Right.
just left it at that. So I didn't get around to it, and the same voice was nagging at me to buy, and but I just didn't listen to it until 2016, end of 2016.
Okay.
And so I read the white paper, and something in me just jumped out after I read. If you read the book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, it says
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
you find your cause, in your life when you find something that really you jump out of your skin. So I was in the bus reading the white paper, and I just knew I had to participate in this. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful story.
yeah, yeah. So, what are the projects that you are looking at currently that you think it's good? Okay, but before that, I just want to know what is your outlook for this year? Because this year we've seen a great, a massive rise since all through December, and we really pat ourselves on the back. We really made it through the bear market. We hodled through, and I think this is one of the best things to happen to hodlers like us. And so, what are you seeing with the market, and um, especially with the institutions coming in, especially with people like Elon Musk just coming up and saying, it's inevitable, and buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So, what is your yeah? I'd like to know.
Yeah, very interesting times, isn't it?
Mm,
So,
mhm,
going back to 2017 when I got into it,
mhm.
we were the visionaries, as you say. We were these
Right.
ones who were passionate and jumped into it, and there was something that spoke to us about it.
Mhm,
And, clearly a visionary because you're in it in such an early stage in the Wild West days, of
mhm,
course. And so from then, and of course, I got in just in the end of that, or beginning of that bull run. And then it, of course, went right into the bear market in early 2018. And, we saw in that bear market, it's a 3-year bear market. So you have to have a lot of patience. And like in any investment in life, you have to have patience. It's part of, one of the key characteristics to have if you want to gain any sort of wealth, or make a good investment out of it. And that bear market, of course, we saw so many things. We saw so many different controversial things, especially in the media. And the media always, of course, never really gives you that straight up, opinion
Yeah.
or truth or knowledge or facts that you're looking for. It's always sort of, it's driving you to digress a different way, or take in a knowledge that wouldn't serve you well if you're trying to learn something. So, we went through and saw, and I think it helped to bring a lot more awareness to a lot of us early investors, how that works, what it means, and what to look for. So, just speeding it right up, 3 years of the bear market, we could see at some point then, we're going to hit and come into this bull market.
Mhm.
And the timing of it was, if you were connected enough in educating and in being self-aware and learning amongst a lot of the great people out there, you would have a pretty good idea that this market was going to hit a bull market around this time frame. And, no one predicted the coronavirus, of course,
Right.
but it certainly set it up to this, point that we're in now, the way things are affecting everything. It's an interesting dynamic going on with a virus out there, a world pandemic,
Mhm.
and a reset. Almost, well, there is the word, the Great Reset, going on around out there, which we'll
Yeah.
get into, I'm sure,
Yes.
after.
Yes.
And so also the notion of a financial reset. So, it's no secret that our financial world had come to such a point that was not functioning well. And it was, certainly a concern as to, where do we go in this, in the future? How do we move forward with the huge and copious amounts of debts and the very, I guess, the value of money, the value of the dollar that had depreciated considerably. So here we have cryptocurrencies coming right into play, and publicly, much more now than it ever has been. And we're getting to see that, like, again, people like yourself and myself who've been in it prior to this, the pre-COVID days, right?
Yes.
And so very interesting to watch the world and the media with this, especially now, and with Elon Musk and what he just, announced, what was
Yes.
announced yesterday, I believe it was,
Yes.
$1.5 billion
$1 billion.
in Bitcoin. Is it Bitcoin
Yes.
futures, or is it, what's the understanding of that, what he actually invested in?
I think it's, I'm not very sure whether it's futures, but I suppose it's Bitcoin, physical Bitcoin, that they are buying it. But I'm not sure. I think I need to read that again to
Yeah.
be sure. Yeah.
But he is,
Yeah.
of course, invested in, and
Yes.
he's certainly tweeting lots about it, isn't he?
Oh,
And the
yes.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, correct. And the
Yeah.
Dogecoin, it's like the high tide that lifts up all the boats, right? And Dogecoin, like my friend, he bought a Dogecoin like worth $80 a
Right.
couple of years back, and now it's 2,500, worth
It's
2,500 bucks,
crazy.
right?
You
It's
know what?
crazy, yeah.
I run
Yeah.
what I didn't mention was I ran a meetup when I first started learning about
Yeah.
Bitcoin in 2017, like
Mm,
getting invested into it, that is.
mm,
I
mm,
decided to run a meetup so I could learn a little bit and share information with my community.
right.
And what we did in the meetup was we actually used Doge
Okay.
to share with everybody, to
Okay.
teach them how to use a cryptocurrency wallet. And so, like you could buy
Yeah.
I don't know, like, 5 cents of Doge and have 50 Doge. So it was easy
Yeah,
to
yeah,
transfer and
yeah,
share.
yeah,
So I had a little stash in my
yeah,
wallet.
yeah,
So it was kind of fun the other day or
right,
the other week when it
yeah, yeah,
skyrocketed.
yeah.
Thanks, Elon.
It's good to see these. Actually, after being in this industry, I mean, in this space for some time, um, actually, a coin doesn't need to do anything.
Mhm,
What it needs to have is a good, strong community,
mhm.
and it can ride all the way up. And that means, I think, belief of the people and the community, it's far outweighs the technical aspects or any other aspects of a coin. You just need a good, strong community, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like even
My
GameStop, right? Like even
yeah.
GameStop, right? Exactly. They had a strong community that stood by each other and made it happen. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And Doge is a meme. I mean, it's a meme
yeah. It's
coin,
a
really.
meme.
It has a use case in the sense of it's a means of exchange, I suppose, but
Yes,
it is a meme and it's been
yes.
looked at as, a coin that was created out of fun, really. And
Right.
it's a dog, really, the
Yeah,
dog meme, and everyone loves the dog. So
yeah, yeah,
or just like, crypto kitties with the cats, right? That
yeah.
really took
Right,
off. So
right, right, right.
but yeah, you're right. And I think too, with cryptocurrencies being such a new concept, um, for most people on this planet, that, why would they be attracted to it? At this point, when it's so early, my guess would be for any real reason, really, like you say, like, okay, it looks great, or it's easy to use, or maybe they may not research a lot of the technical things, but eventually once you get invested in a little bit, then you start to take it to that next step and that next level and learn more about it and become more savvy, right, with the use cases and protocols and things like that. So but initially, yeah, there could be many different reasons for something so new that could
Mm.
attract people to a crypto. And there's so many cryptocurrencies, as
Yeah,
we know, aren't
yeah,
there?
yes.
Yeah, there's plenty of those.
Many, yeah.
But yeah, very interesting times. And I think for anybody who wants to learn and know about them,
Mm-hmm.
reach out to people. And you can go on YouTube, lots of great
Right.
videos there.
Yeah,
Andreas Antonopoulos,
yeah.
he's the guru, right, in the space.
He's a master.
And
Yeah,
he really is. He certainly knows a wealth of
yeah,
information.
yeah.
Our Canadian government actually flew him here to teach
Right.
our government a little bit more about blockchain. And this was about 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah. I consider him as an authority in Bitcoin.
Right.
So I will refer to him and see what he has to say and then make a decision. So yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
do the
Even
same, and I refer people to watch his videos. There
yes,
are great content creators out there for
right.
sure.
Yes,
And it's really a matter of finding one that resonates well with you and what you like.
correct,
Omar Baum is a
correct.
great one.
Yeah, yeah.
You're about to create a great podcast here. So,
Yeah, I
you know,
started off. I started off with I don't know how I because I think I'm a bit more spiritual. Yeah, so I started off with Omar Baum, a little bit of Omar Baum, and then I went on to Big Sphere
yeah,
and
yeah,
Cliff
great.
High and that whole that whole. I mean,
Jason
because
at
they are,
four,
yeah, JSNIP 4,
Bitcoin Ben.
Bitcoin Band. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just felt drawn to to
That community.
that
Yeah,
community. Yeah, yeah,
correct. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, those were all great people. And again, you
yeah.
find your fit with those people, right? There's
Yes,
crypto
correct.
viewing with Dick Algar.
Dick
He's great.
Albright. Yeah, he's yeah,
Bitcoin boy, Bitcoin boy. He's really great. Crypto stash. I mean, there's so
yeah,
many. They're
yeah.
good ones, really good
Good
ones.
ones. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and and then there's some good links out there. Crypto Hustle on Twitter.
Mm,
He's got a link, a pinned tweet with a link for beginners. Really great link.
okay,
I
okay,
send that to a lot of people too.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so definitely
Yep.
there's, you can put
Yeah,
maybe those links at the
yeah.
bottom of the video.
Sure, I will.
Yeah,
Yeah, a crypto hustle, and yeah, I'll get the links from you a little later.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
and
send.
yeah. So tell me, what are the projects that you're interested in now that you're looking at, the next 100x or the 10x, or, that you think that has long legs, in the crypto space?
Sure. I mean, as far as the main, I like to call it now mainstream crypto.
Hmm.
Um, and then I'll talk about a couple that I'm personally invested in working
Sure.
with
Yeah.
other teams that
Yes.
I'd like to
Yeah.
mention. But with crypto, for me, Bitcoin is king. It is the grandfather
Yeah.
of all coins, and I really like to stick with a lot of, the majority of my holdings with Bitcoin. I think too, coins like Chainlink, great project, great team as well.
Mhm.
The use cases, if you go to Coin Market Cap,
Right.
there's the list of coins there that you can investigate and learn more about by clicking on them. It's certainly the top 20 are worth looking at closely, and top 50, even, there's so many, but those are all great coins. Top 100, actually, there's a lot of great coins in the top 100.
Yeah.
But they're there, and you can click on them. You can see the historical data there. You can go to their websites there. You can see their markets where they're selling the coins. So it's a great link to go to, Coin Market Cap. I like to mention that one as well. Coins like projects like Cardano, great project. Chainlink, great project. Polkadot, great project. There's oh my gosh, there's quite a few actually. Really solid, good projects out there, and it's really a matter of doing your homework, doing the research, and learning a little bit more about them. It's important to do that on your own and get invested on your own, and don't take the advice from somebody else what to invest into. So that's why I really emphasize learning on your own about that.
Yes.
I am actually working and collaborating with a couple of great projects too. One of them is Carnomaly, and Carnomaly is a fantastic platform. They are working in the car industry and have created the car token, that's CARR. And they are now being listed on multiple exchanges. They just started listing their IEO, which will then be listed on the exchange after an IEO is completed, which is so I would say they're going to be. I guess I could mention they're on KuCoin, Probit, Upbit, I believe, if I'm saying this correctly. There's quite a few others that they're going to be listed on. So they're like, here's an example. You're sitting at work, you're shopping for a car, you go into their site, you look for a car that you like. Some people already know what they want to look for. They will have the car driven to you, and then you can test drive the car from your own location. So that's one of their features. Of course, you can still go to a dealership. It shops for a dealership within the vicinity of your area for the best price, and they'll bring that to you with as well a rebate program attached to the car token. So there is a rebate involved with that. It has a great, as far as inventory and the VIN number that's on the blockchain. So this changes the car tracking system of any vehicle. So whether it's in natural disaster or what have you, like even for insurance purposes, it really changes that whole insurance world with tracing and tracking down cars because it is on the blockchain. So it really eliminates a lot of the black market problems with car theft in that regard. So for insurance companies, it's a great thing. So there's many great features. I really encourage you to go to carnomaly.io and check them out. Again, I can send you the link for that. I have an affiliate link, and I'll definitely love to share that with you.
Sure.
And as well, I just did an interview with Mandela Exchange. That's a great exchange, what they're planning and doing, with what they have. And met the team. If you go to my channel, you can see the interview there with Joe and Zachary. They took over the project, and they are they have revamped, and they've launched in 2020, whole new, because it had been around prior to that, and there was a little bit of challenges that Mandela had encountered, but this new team and what they're doing is just taking it over and taking it in a whole new direction. So great stuff with them. They have done a collaboration with Binance Exchange, which is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. And what they've done is they have a collaboration where you can onboard with them and have access to the Binance platform. And so it's called the Binance Cloud, and that's the collaboration they have with them. So it allows them, as the first private exchange, to have that collaboration with Binance Cloud. So really interesting, which allows them to have much lower fees for trading. So a good feature there as well. So yeah, just to touch on that as well. So Mandela, Carnomaly, oh my gosh, there's another, well, okay, that one I won't talk about. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. So that's a couple that I'm personally involved in. So very exciting times.
Yeah. What about, I just want to ask you very quickly about the DeFi space, so
Yes.
yeah, so they are offering, like, if you are if the YFI token and the vaults that they have, and the fact that you can get quite high APYs, yearly APYs. So it's like moving on from real finance, real hard finance, from legacy finance, and it's moving on to DeFi, which is decentralized finance. So a lot of money is coming in. I don't know. I think the last I heard was like $80 billion into the DeFi space. What are your thoughts on that? And do you see legacy finance breaking down anytime soon, and people are moving all the money over to the DeFi space, especially with the fiat printing, because they are printing crazy amounts these days, right? So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they are. Great question. I'm learning a lot about DeFi myself. It is a new, use case as well, but it is here to change and revolutionize the lending world. The world of lending money.
Right.
So it's a whole new concept for people to understand still, and for it to transform into this new DeFi world. So your mortgages, the loans, the whole lending world, it's massive. It's a very large part of the engine that runs everything.
Right.
So, the DeFi, being that it's decentralized, it's allowing, platforms to, like, even Carnomaly, they have a DeFi platform. It's almost essential now to have that. So you can lend out your money to buy the car. How wonderful is that, all on one platform in one company? A very smart thing to do. So you have, but when you say decentralized, I'm still learning a little bit more about this, and there isn't one. I don't know if I can say one particular entity that's lending it out, controlling the whole thing. This is what we're getting away from, that monopoly of control, and borrowing from each other, for instance, and pooling that money and being able to find better rates that are more reasonable and realistic in life, to obtain these things and to borrow money. So the whole concept of decentralizing the lending world is truly revolutionary. But what was I don't know if I'm answering your question.
Yeah. Now, I just wanted your general thoughts on that.
Well, like I said, I'm still learning, but I think it is a really great thing. And I think like all of these things that are coming into play right now in the digital world, I think one has to understand, or can choose to understand, that we are changing an old world, an old system, and
Right.
creating a new one.
Right.
So
Yeah.
given that,
Mhm.
it may sound very different and completely new, and having to really wrap your mind around a whole new way of thinking, because it's truly a new wheel. This is not reinventing an old wheel. This is a brand
Yeah.
new wheel.
Brand new bill. Yeah.
So you have to jump out of that thinking and jump into this thinking, and really, have to start learning what that means, because it's not the same. You can't bring those old thoughts into this
Yeah.
new wheel. It
Right.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, and it's okay. It's not, it's going to be very, I think the way they're going to make everything, it's going to transfer over, for people to use from one to the other, where they don't really notice it, so to speak. I would imagine some things, will be used that way and be easily transferred over. But, it's good to educate and learn, to get a little bit ahead of the curve and get involved in understanding and positioning yourself in this as well. But where was I going with this thought? Yeah. So, when there's something like this, which we've never really experienced before, a whole new wheel like this,
Mm-hmm.
we have to have patience too, and understanding that these things will change again. These are the pioneer days. So these initially are the first, legs being, foundation being set. And from there we build. And what's amazing about that is the type of technology that this all is, that what we can build from this and where this can actually take us. And if, I am a visionary. So when I say that, I am seeing great things in the future, because we're building initially from this new wheel. And I feel that it lends to opportunities where we can actually empower ourselves to be a lot more efficient, as a human race.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps even if we are aware enough, we can create a better world for ourselves than this old paradigm that we're living. So keep that in mind, that there's always possibilities, and possibilities for our consciousness to rise. And if we do, and going, that could be a segue into this great reset, when I start talking about consciousness rising.
Right.
We can use
Mm-hmm.
and create better with a higher consciousness, but it does start with consciousness.
Yes.
So we can have great tools and great tech,
Yeah.
but I really truly feel that the consciousness behind all of this is what's key and what's important. And if we really want to make a true difference for ourselves that we've never been able to really do for ourselves before. So, it's an old world. It's an old world, and powers that be that control it. And that's always been. And so where is it going tomorrow,
And they're just coming up to our face, and and they're saying things like, you will own nothing and you will be happy.
The Great Reset? Yeah.
Yeah. But they are so in your
Happy.
face. Yeah. Yeah. And it's so blatant, right? It's so blatant.
Yes.
They don't
Oh,
care.
yes.
And they're just coming out and telling you this is the way it's going to be, you know?
They are. And I don't know if people realize and
Right.
understand that they actually just come right out in the public
You're right.
and tell you right up front exactly what their entire agenda is. And it is an agenda.
Yes.
So, the World Economic Forum,
Mm-hmm.
the entire agenda of Agenda 30, it's called Agenda
Agenda
30.
30, yeah.
It's right out there in plain writing. Read it.
Yeah.
Go look it up, people, and read about it, because this is very real. And when you do, read it again and read it again until you can absorb the true meaning of what is being said here. And hopefully you can start linking things that you may have seen or read and start connecting dots, because everything is compartmentalized.
Right.
So it's hard to connect those dots. So it's your, duty and responsibility If
Correct.
you want to know something and learn something,
Yeah.
to learn how to connect those dots,
Correct.
and you'll see better. You'll see more clearly. And together, when you connect with people who are able to see these things as well and connect
Hmm.
these dots,
Hmm.
numbers come in strength.
Right.
So you never think that, you're one person, what's it going to matter? It matters tremendously.
Yeah.
So awareness is everything. I really do think that. And I really
Hmm.
do encourage to be aware of things
Hmm.
and have an open mind.
Hmm.
But they tell us
Yeah.
everything about the
Yeah.
agenda and what's
Right.
coming. And I
Right.
just look in nature, and in nature, you should see where I am. I'm in BC, Whistler
Yes.
right now, and it's
It's
gorgeous.
beautiful. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
And,
Yeah.
in nature, there's no agenda.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. Nature has
yeah,
no agenda. It just keeps giving,
yes,
right? It just keeps giving, right?
correct.
But
Yeah,
these guys are just taking it and taking it and taking it and looting, right? So
yeah,
I think the world has to wake up to this because this is real. It's not like we should be
yeah.
able to decide for ourselves whether we want to be in the system, right? So I think we are blessed that um, cryptos came in our way. I think it was created just for this very reason. Probably Satoshi somewhere he knew, or a group of people, or I don't know who that was, but they knew this was coming,
Sure.
and
It's all by design, isn't it?
right, it's all by
Mhm.
design, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And they just knew that, okay, this is what's going to happen, and then we need this to help the people, to help humanity, right?
Yes.
So if I can imagine, if just today, if the US dollar collapses, which I think it will, because I don't see how it can last by this enormous amount of printing that has no, because if you are a Bitcoiner, you will know that supply is important, right? It's key. It's one of
Very
the main.
important. Yeah, they keep
Yeah,
they keep creating trillions of dollars, and it just creates hyperinflation. Is what it's
right,
inevitable
right.
with the amount of trillions of dollars they've created a thin air that you know.
Yes,
Whereas Bitcoin doesn't have that hyperinflationary capability.
yes, correct. So
Hmm.
we are blessed in the way where we have this with us, and but the people don't seem to be responsive of it. And I don't want to go into the vaccine thing and all that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think YouTube will not allow all these things, but you get what I'm trying to say. And the great reset is important for people to understand, because if they can control you if they can control your finances, right? And we
Exactly.
can, yeah, so we cannot we need to be aware, and we need to use crypto as a means to escape from the system, because it is decentralized. If they want to control us, they have to control us through a centralized scheme. But until and unless they can't do that, they don't have much control, you know. Like, even like silver, if you look at the metals, how it was, like Big Spear talks about silver being rigged and all that, all these years, and we found out, yeah, it was rigged, right? It
I
came
love
out.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It was
and
rigged. Yeah.
and honestly, it's as simple as, people laugh at that, the good guys and the bad guys, when he says the good guys and the bad guys.
Yeah.
But it is, in essence, that's the thing. It's the good guys and the bad guys,
Yeah. It's good and evil. Absolutely.
right? Right. It's
Yes.
just, it's the baseline. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
Donald Trump and Joe Biden. It's good and
And
evil.
evil at the end of the
Period.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
which
defining.
comes back to your what you said just now of consciousness, right? So we all need, as human beings, to awake that a bit of higher consciousness, and away from being an animalistic consciousness, right? So with that awakens our perceptions, that awakens,
Our thought
then
process.
our thought processes, and then we look for answers. And once we start looking at the right direction, it'll come.
Correct.
It's sense.
You
Yeah.
attract. You attract, right? You
Yes.
manifest what you think.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And I think we are headed there.
Yep.
How we get there and what happens between now and there, who knows? Who really knows? And who ends up there, who really knows? But
Right.
I do think on a grand scale, we're headed there. So,
Yeah.
but there's, yeah, nothing comes easy, right? There's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
hard work to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any final thoughts that you want to say? Anything that you want to say? You can just any final
Sure.
thoughts that you have.
Yeah, I really think it's important to, awareness is everything, and
Hmm.
self-awareness is the best and most. And I always say that the worst betrayal is betrayal to thyself.
Right.
So to have self-awareness is to honor that and to not betray thyself.
Mhm.
And I really think and encourage those of you, especially those of you suffering out there or worried or scared. Fear is not going to help you.
Mhm.
Invest in yourself by educating, by learning. Platforms like this. Keep looking. Keep finding things.
Yeah.
Um, Finding peace within yourself. It's
Mhm.
really important right now, and I really want to stress that. I think it's times that we're in our world, and I think it's really important.
Mhm.
And align with that positivity and the love in your heart, opening your heart and creativity. Creativity is where we shine best,
Mhm.
and we love ourselves in that, and that can be so profound on so many levels.
Yeah.
So things like Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology, it's a new world, it's a digital world. But if we are able to have that self-awareness, that positivity, being kind to each other, loving yourself and others, and keep creating, you can find a good place for yourself in your heart and share that with others as well. It does help others as well in so many other ways. And keep going forward that way.
Yeah.
And don't let fear take you over, because I think we have a lot of good on this planet that we don't get to shed the light on enough.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
a lot of good, a lot of great things. So keep the hope and be positive.
Right. Yeah. So, how do we reach out to you and your work and the things you do? How do we find you online?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm on YouTube,
Right.
Amina M,
Okay.
and which stands for Motala. So I am Amina Motala _ on Twitter, and that's because I had my account hacked and deleted,
Oh,
unfortunately.
sad to
So I had to
hear.
start a new one, and it's Amina Motala _
Okay.
now. You can find me that way. AminaMotala.com is my
Okay.
website,
Okay.
and yeah, that's the way to find me.
Okay. So send me all the links that you have, and then I'll just put it at the description box so whoever comes and sees this can look for you as well and your content
Okay.
and your wonderful content. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
having me on your first podcast. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Last thing I just want to ask you, which I'm not going to record this, is that firstly, thank you so much for coming, and and you will be the first one that I upload next week, next Tuesday, 16th
Awesome.
of Feb. Yeah. And I just want to ask you if you have anyone that you think I should talk to, who I can talk to things like I can talk to you about, not only about cryptos, but a little bit about spirituality and the great resets, the awakened crypto guys.
Yeah, who can you talk to? Gosh,
It's okay. If you have anything, you can just let me know.
I do have some people, and I can suggest, because I'd
Right.
love to send them your way, so you can, keep this
Right.
going. I think
Yeah.
you can have a great show here. So definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you,
No.
Amina. Thank you so much. So, thank you again, and we'll connect again on social media. And yeah, thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
yeah, yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. You have a
Take
great
care.
day. Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye.